on. I won't let her go cool down, but we can do a couple.
Yeah, right now?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay, great.
You got it all inside of you.
Yeah, should work fine. Can I have 10 seconds or 20 seconds?
Okay.
I didn't know, sorry.
All right.
That's fine. He just wants that. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. You can just time and then
Feel it to be true. And when you dance,
Yeah, sure.
Is it okay to stand here or you'd rather sit down there?
where do you want me?
Standing here?
Here?
Is okay?
Okay, yep.
I don't want to, make you stand up for too long. Okay, let me just check the camera's on. Yes, it is. What a return! Leylah Fernandez! Take him out! Last point, ladies and gentlemen. Championship Billie Jean King Cup point. Get her in somehow. What attacking? What defense? Wow! Wow! Look at this! Boy,
I was probably a little bit bamboozled with with everything. Sorry.
And Billie Jean King Cup 2023, that's a wrap.
Ready? Play.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Here we are for this very special encounter at the Bonn Open between Jeffrey Blancano against Damir the Demon Jumur. He's very much demonized thus far, showing a bit of frustration after losing the first set. Anyway, the Frenchman to serve 15-30. Bit of pressure on that Frenchman's shoulders, like a couple of baguettes weighing over him. Needs to take some time. No hurry, he says, at 15-30. He's up a set, 2-all here. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go there down the middle, and that is a shank. One that even Stefanos Tsitsipas would be proud of. Get that towel, mop your brow. Return to the baseline where you'll know it's 30-all. Screeches from the other courts. But But they don't put this young Frenchman off. Look at him. Prowling, brushing, questioning. Maybe they do put him off. He needs to be focused. It's 30 all, 2 all, tense times here at the Bon Open. Goes out wide with that, comes into the net, does the volley. Does he put it away? No, he doesn't. But he puts that one away, and his opponent, the demon, Damir Jumur, just cannot believe what has happened to him. I'll tell you what's happened. You've been flummoxed, and you've lost the point. We would take another look at it if we had a replay, but we don't. But who knows? You don't even need a replay. It's in our heads. Okay. The Frenchman to serve. I say you're going out wide. You don't. You go down the tee. Clip the net, though. So he's going to get another shot at it. Is he going to take my advice and go out wide on this one? Did so successfully on that last time for a serve and volley, even though he'd messed up the volley. Goes down the tee again, does come into the net, does a little drop shot, and you know what? Jamur is like, I can't even be bothered to run that down. And he's going to clean that line. Look at this, he's cleaning the line because he's so annoyed with some funny bounces.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leymans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
And now here I go slice. And this is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on whereabouts on this planet Earth you are joining us from. And welcome to what is technically day 4, even though it feels like day 3 and whatever day it really feels like of Cincinnati. Because you got me, James, and then we got somebody new. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Gökalp. I've been on a stream, I think this is my 3rd time now, but fairly new. We haven't done one together, so I'm looking forward to it.
That's what I was thinking. I think this is the first time. You say Gökalp? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's right.
Gökalp. I'm terrible with names, so you'll probably have to bear me with that one. But of course, we've got a big one at the moment because we have Fernandez versus Rybakina. Now it's a bit overcast actually, which is I noticed with the sort of darkness of the screen taking place there. And John saying that you met Gökalp in Estoril. Was that where you sort of met John or anyone else?
So we're dropping Estoril in the first minute, John. I see. We don't have to wait for 15 minutes to bring this topic to Estoril somehow. But yeah, that's how we met, and it's been fun. Being on this channel. I'm looking forward to this match, Fernandez Rybakina. I'm curious about how Rybakina is going to play.
Yes, it's she's already 15 love down already, and is struggling to find a first serve, which is interesting. This is mostly where we're going to find out, Gökalp, if both our streams are somewhat similar in terms of time, or if somebody's wildly ahead of the other. And that was a terrible drop shot attempt by Rybakina on that one. Didn't even reach the net on that bit there. So who do you think is going to win?
Rybakina, I think. Just because she's Rybakina. I have no idea. Every time she plays this year, I'm curious about her form because she had all these withdrawals from tournaments. The last she played was at Wimbledon. So this is her first match on hard court since Miami, I checked. So there has to be some kind of rust, I guess. She pulled out of the Olympics.
Yeah, she's one of these players that seems to be, it doesn't take long for her to find some form. But just randomly at some points in tournaments, she can end up just pulling out because of some illness or injury or whatnot. And it just, she looks completely fine the day before. And then all of a sudden, it's just out of the competition.
Yeah.
But is doing good at the moment-ish. Okay, well, I'm happy with an electronic time call there. Any matches in Cincinnati that's caught your fancy already today, already this week?
I just saw Medvedev's result, but I couldn't even catch the highlights or summary, anything. I saw he served at 44% the first serve, but that means like 2 losses in a row. So I'm curious what's going on there. Other than that,
that's a ridiculous. That's an alarmingly low first serve percentage. It's 44%.
That's right. I watched quite a bit of Rune Berrettini. That was a fun match, but there wasn't a lot of time when they both played well at the same time. But it was good, comeback from Rune, and the Rune chants came back after Wimbledon.
Good Rune. Yeah, I mean everyone has to do the Rune.
What about you? Any matches that caught your attention?
Caught my attention. So I watched Draper's match yesterday. That was against Jaume Munar, and he did really well to be able to come back from what felt like some sort of medical timeout right at the end of the third set. Really did not look good, and just able to eke out the last points he needed to on the match tiebreaker. Certainly on the tiebreaker in the third set to manage just about win that match, which was really impressive from Drac. Of course, there's going to be big questions going into, as time ticks by, if he's going to end up pulling out of the competition before the Tsitsipas match, just because it did look bad. It did look he was having some certainly noticeable treatment taking place on court. So it's going to be notable, or at least it's a case of keeping an eye on Twitters and social media feeds of tournaments to see if he is able to make the court to place Tsitsipas a little bit later today.
Okay, let's see.
Does that make sense? But barring that, the one match that really got an interest first of all was Caboli beating Paul. That was a bit of that was certainly notable. Caboli playing incredibly well, and Tommy Paul just not really having any answers. And similarly as well, Brandon Nakashima coming back to be able to beat Taylor Fritz. Beating Taylor Fritz. Was it yesterday? Or no, the day before that? It was one of the night session matches, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's
kind of turning out that night session time period in Cincinnati is where all the big upsets seem to be taking place. I mean, it was as you mentioned, it was a really big win for. So I say it's a big win for Lehechka because, of course, he got massively injured. What was it, around Madrid time? He got injured, or something.
That's right.
Around then, and he was somebody who was having a barnstorming sort of season. Really, won his first title in Adelaide, beating the guy I like in Jack Draper in that final. But had certainly a brilliant, winning Adelaide, getting some deep runs at some really big competitions, and then all of a sudden, just gets a really bad injury. It takes him out of the majority of the certainly a key part of the middle part of the season. So for him to be able to come back, and I think this is I don't know if he played in Montreal last week. I don't think he played in Montreal last week. To be able to come back as his first tournament and to be able to get not only just a win that he did in the previous round, but then to go on and beat Medvedev, I think is hugely impressive from the Czech, and really puts in a lot of eyes on the Czech to see what he can do. Certainly going into the US Open or whatever he can continue to keep doing in Cincinnati, but then also going into the rest of the season, he's particularly good on the indoor hard courts, and then going over to the Asian swing as well. Rasley, you're saying in the chat as well, how about Big Foe taking out Musetti? That was certainly a big result. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, I've been surprised about how well these guys who, or also in the ladies' part, like who competed at the Olympics, played Canada and playing Cincinnati like back to back. Something had to give, I think, and I think it's good for them because there's not a lot of time until the U.S. Open. Musetti must have be feeling, that in the legs a bit, I'm guessing. Same with Fritz and Paul, because I think all of them, if I'm not mistaken, maybe not Musetti, played doubles as well at the Olympics. So Fritz and Paul played all the way until the bronze match. Same with Musetti. He played a lot of tennis in Paris. So that might be a bit but I haven't watched the match. Maybe Tiafoe is, putting things together after that clown comment, tidying things up, because he's been getting better results compared to before that.
I remember that comment he made. There was somebody asked Tiafoe about it recently in the press conference, and he said, "Yeah, as soon as I made that comment, I got a message from Stan Wawrinka."
Really?
ask you. He's not lived it down doing that, saying that comment. But I mean, I heard some other people saying, well, what do other players think about if they end up losing to Tiafoe? If he's losing to clowns, and he must be the biggest clown of them all.
Yeah.
Oh, and Fernandez here though gets the early break, as we were just talking there. But yeah, as you say, bringing it back to the women's game, it's been really good to notice or to see Paula Badosa's sort of certain resurgence. It seems this season, winning Washington, coming in as a wild card there, and then getting a good win against Peyton Stearns yesterday to get herself into the second round. I mean, she's certainly making a play for that dark horse. You could certainly say dark horse tag going into the US Open. Other notable results, of course, was Admira Andreeva beating Emma Navarro. But two players that are in very good form, and being able to come through that contest is just an incredibly impressive thing to do. Skyer beating Siniakova. That's a good win for Kalinskaya. She's of course going back from injury. And then also just going down here, Diana Schneider continuing some good runs of form. Wozniacki beating Karolina. Granted, Karolina did pull out of playing a match last week, it's still though good for Wozniacki to be able to get a win. And then going at the rest of it, I can see there is. Of course, any other women's results that took your eye?
Yeah, Diana Schneider is one of those players who's been winning a lot since maybe the beginning of the year, start of the year. She's won a lot of matches. I think 3 tournaments already, 2 500 level, but she didn't make a big win. She didn't get that big win at a Grand Slam so far. So maybe US Open is it. And I think she made the semis in Canada last week, as far as I remember. So yeah, she caught my eye. But yeah, I'm just curious about how the big ones are gonna do. Like I watched Iga lose a set, but then came back strong in that final set. Sabalenka and Rybakina, curious about those. Like Rybakina had to save 2 break points and then got broken. So and Brazy saying apparently the courts are fast, really fast in Cincy. So Rybakina really has to fire those aces. So those are the names I'm curious about this week mostly.
Yeah, I mean, some big questions certainly around Iga going into this one, where we've now gone through a couple of seasons, it feels like, where, of course, she's hugely dominant on that clay court swing. And we saw that this year, winning both the WTA 1000 events plus then also the Grand Slam associated with that year. And that was, hugely dominant. A bit of a disappointment for her that she wasn't able to get the gold medal at the Olympics. It was quite apparent watching her during the matches that the pressure of that situation, of that expectation that she was going to win it, and the fact that it was once every 4 years, it was on the clay, it was at Roland Garros, her favourite place, and she unfortunately just came up short in the semi-final, but was able to at least salvage a bronze medal, which is still an Olympic medal, which is something she can always show off right to the end of her days. But it is then about, okay, if we're going to have this Iga dominance, are we going to start to see that taking place at other parts of the season? So either at the US swing, either at Wimbledon, or either during the Australian swing. And we know that she already has one US Open that she won in 22. But do you think she'll be going into the US Open thinking she should be winning it, or to certainly try and assert some dominance over this sort of season?
I don't think so. I don't think she would be even. I mean, she's definitely going to be one of the favorites because there hasn't been another player like she has been on clay who plays like that, who gets results like that on hard court. I mean, Sabalenka has won Australia back-to-back, but after that, she hasn't. She's found difficulty in finding her top form. But I think she's done back-to-back semis and finals, so she's doing well in New York, Sabalenka. So maybe her, Rybakina, Coco is going to have a lot of pressure, defending champion. So maybe Iga will not have, definitely will not have that kind of pressure as she did at Roland Garros, at the Olympics. So that might be, good for her going in, but she doesn't like certain matchups, and she's had tough draws at slams this year. Early rounds, first week, those hard hitters, fast pace players. She lost to Ostapenko here, like in New York, I think last year.
She
And
does not like playing Ostapenko, does she?
Yeah. So if she gets like Noskova, maybe 2 or 3 times this year already.
It does always seem to be the same sort of players that she plays along the routes. Noskova is one of them. Alexandrova tends to be another player that she plays a lot. And Ostapenko usually pops up somewhere in a 16th of a draw somewhere that she'd end up having to face.
Yeah. Putintseva did something at Wimbledon, which surprised her as well. So if she can get through those, why not? But I don't see.
It's always a hard one, isn't it, for Iga at Wimbledon, because she's a junior Wimbledon champion, so she knows that when she can do it, she can play well on the surface. But because she commits so much during the clay swing, which is her main part of the year, as I say, playing Stuttgart, going deep, incredibly deep, winning it or getting to the final in these tournaments. Stuttgart, Madrid, Rome, then a week off, then to the French Open. That's a lot of tennis to be playing and winning all those tournaments, and then only to have 1 or 2 weeks and then get yourself into preparation for Wimbledon. It's one of those situations where you'd expect it would have to be a pretty mediocre, and I'm saying like a low mediocre, when we're looking at Iga sort of clay court swing, for her to have almost the energy to be able to then go on and win Wimbledon, or at least certainly have a good run at Wimbledon, because she'll know that a lot of players, once you win Wimbledon, that elevates you in the eyes of the sporting public, not just the tennis world, but also the sporting world. Certainly gives you greater credence as a top athlete in the field.
Yeah, I'm curious how she'll do. Rybakina broke back, by the way.
She
some
did
deep
break
returns.
back.
Yeah, deep returns in that game.
Already in the first 2 games of this set, that it's been juices, and there's been a lot of toing and throwing on the ad and the juice.
Yeah. I remember she had slow starts like this. She got broken like early stages of the first set at Wimbledon as well, maybe 1 or 2 matches. So probably this doesn't concern her that she got broken. Not that it should be a habit.
Yeah, we got a good question coming from Brazzy. I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably not. That being said, for both Philip and James, who are your favourites to win the US Open? Who's yours?
WTA side. So that's
on the WTA side.
Yeah, it's always a tough question because, I mean, to be very honest, I'm just catching up on Canada, and I'm trying to get like highlights and summaries, and I mean these players are just playing maybe 1 week entering the US Open, so it's very, very hard to guess the form. But I think I would say Sabalenka.
You're going Sabalenka. Oh, you basically said the name that I was going to pick as well. I would have gone for Sabalenka.
Yeah.
Just to say, just because, she would have been disappointed with the way that Montreal ends, but she has a problem against Anisimova, and that was the person that beat her in the semi-finals, I think it was. She has an Anisimova problem, where Anisimova has the ability to redirect all that power and pace that comes from the Sabalenka racket. It's almost like absorbing all that energy and then shooting it all back. I'm trying to think of an example of something that's absorbed energy, absorbs energy and shoots it, and fires it off. And that's she's gonna have to she's gonna have to find out way of sorting that. I mean, you can't just hope for the fact that Anisimova is going to be so far away from you in the draw that you're not going to have to worry about it. There could be a situation with her that she could play a first or second round at the Australian Open. Jesus, not January yet. We're still in August at the US Open.
Yeah,
but as you say, Sabalenka, hard courts are her thing, and and she really has shown, as you say, that over the last couple of years, that she will go deep at the hard court slams and win them in the case of the Australian Open for the 2 years that she has. and it just does feel like this should be her year. In reality, and I know Coco Gauff fans might be for saying this, she should have won it last year. She was quite clearly the better player in that match, but just let Coco into it at key stages. And I'm sure Sabalenka will feel as though she could do the double, certainly do the hard court double this year and pick up the US Open. But barring that, I would say Rybakina is second on certainly on a quick hard court that you would have at the US Open, but you can't count out Iga, and you'd have to have her in that top tier of who you would back.
Yeah. Yeah,
But then
Rybakina.
we do have a question as well. There's Rybakina here is trying to hold serve here, but the best will in the world. I got her at advantage.
Yeah, has saved another break point in this game. But
then that is a terrible backhand.
Yeah, Fernandez is just trying to send everything back in. She set up a break point just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's deuce.
Goes down the tee, forehand by Fernandez. I mean, these two have and poor backhand into the net there on a redirection from Rybakina. Fernandez with a break point. Yeah.
So I think I'm only 3-4 seconds ahead of you. We're in sync. It's like almost completely in sync. So that's good.
Oh, perfect. I'll take that. Usually I'm the one behind.
Yeah. Me too. So that's why it's working.
No, it's things. I mean, I had a look beforehand. These two have met once before, and that was in Doha at the beginning of the year. Rybakina coming through that one, 6-4, 6-2. I remember watching parts of that match, and I could tell certainly in that first set, it was very tight, very edgy between the two. But then once Rybakina took the first set, she became really quite strong in the second set and just blasted through that one. As Fernandez goes a break up. So we've had 3 service games already in this match, and all 3 have 3 breaks of serve.
Yeah, and that was a horrible forehand from Rybakina. That wasn't even that hard, I would say. Big unforced error at breakpoint.
It's almost like watching. It's like watching. I always think, like, certainly with the likes of like a Rybakina, and I also say this as well for. I certainly say this well for Sabalenka. It's like watching a bird who's trying to stretch out its wings. Once they're fully outstretched and they feel as though they've got full motion in them, but when they're hitting that ball, it can just be absolutely majestic, cross courts, down the lines, pushing their opponents back. But when they're still just trying to when they're still trying to find themselves with their arm span, it can then feel that's where the mistakes seem to crop up quite a fair bit.
Yeah, it's definitely not stretched out yet. Rybakina's first serve percentage is at 29%, according to the WTA app. So
yikes.
Yeah, much lower than what we have on screen. 29. So that's one of the biggest reasons why she got broken twice in a row. But yeah, Fernandez is doing everything to just put another ball back into the court, like she always does.
She is indeed. Razzie also asked, who's your favorite for the US Open from the men's side?
This one is tricky.
Yeah.
Because I think Alcaraz is tired physically and emotionally. I have no idea how Djokovic is going to play. And Sinner is, like, everyone is coming with some questions. Medvedev lost 2 matches in a row. Otherwise, I would have definitely gone with Medvedev, I think. I don't know why. I would have just trusted him. But this form is maybe Djokovic. Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, like, you can create a tier list. You can certainly create a group of maybe four players who you would say you would favour for the US Open, but you can't really pick one. I mean, I would have to say I think John's picked Carlos in the chat there. I would go. I would certainly go Carlos. I would say Carlos Alcaraz at this stage, just because he's shown this year his a brilliant bit of adaptability between surfaces and very quickly as well. Going from winning the French Open to then winning Wimbledon, getting to the final again at the Olympics. I think he'll do. Certainly it's going to be good to see this certainly today how he's looking. But we know that what happened at Queen's when he lost in the second round there. Granted, he came up against an incredibly inspired Jack Draper in that match. But the fact that he didn't really have a great run at Queen's, but he still went on to win Wimbledon in quite a comfortable fashion. We'll probably say for that match. So I'm going to say Carlos, but I could see Yannick doing it. If Yannick won Montreal last week, I probably would have gone, okay, I'm going to put my cards on the Sinner table at this stage, because he is the one who has won the last hard court slam, and that's a lot of credence to take into this competition. And he tends to do fairly well at the US Open, but as you say, those injury concerns that we have, coupled with the fact that we hasn't really got the matches in at the moment, then means that it puts doubt in the mind. So I would certainly say Carlos at this point.
There are two things with Carlos. He had been saying the two matches that he wanted to take lessons from last year was the Roland Garros semifinal against Djokovic, and that Medvedev match he lost at the US Open. So he didn't want to repeat those, and he said, the one against Djokovic, I don't think I repeated. So maybe he's going to want to prove himself in New York as well. But I don't think anyone has done French Open, Wimbledon, and US Open since Nadal in 2010. So it's a very hard thing to do. Even Djokovic, if I'm remembering correctly, he didn't do all three in the same year.
No, he's only ever done for three in the same year. I think he's done it three times. He did it in, He did it in 2011, but that one he missed out on the French. He won 3 slams. He did it in 2021, but that year he missed out on the US Open, literally in the last game. And then last year as well. But last year he missed out on Wimbledon because Carlos won that one. So the Summer Slam, as you could call it, which is the French, Wimbledon, and the US Open, it has not been done since. As you say, Nadal 2010. Did you say Nadal?
Yeah, I think so.
2010 for Nadal was the last, and I think Federer did it once, didn't he? 2009.
No, he lost to Del Potro that year.
Oh, did he? Okay, so Federer's never done it either.
Yeah,
he was close. Yeah, Federer was close, but lost to Del Potro.
Particularly physically challenging trio, that one. Another deuce game in that one. This one, 4th game, back to back.
They don't like to win clear cut, do they? These two. It's juice games, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Good. I can see as well. We've got somebody eating tacos as their breakfast tacos whilst they're watching us. That's good. If that's the part of the world you're coming from, and you're at breakfast time. I never had a breakfast taco. It may be pretty good. Have you ever had a breakfast taco before?
No, but sounds good actually. I want to do that while watching a lot of service breaks, as they wrote.
As Fernandez hits the net there, she's just kept solo there. If you can let us know what's in a breakfast taco, that would be brilliant. Unfortunately, it's 4:00 here where I am at the moment. I've just gone coming up to 4:30. Actually, it's 4:30 now. So I'm getting more towards dinner time than lunchtime.
Same here, 6:30. Yeah, it's 26 minutes. It's still the 4th game. This is going to be a long one. If it goes like this, of course, these matches change all of a sudden sometimes. That was a strong return from Rybakina.
Oh, good cross. That was as you say, when she can get around on it, it looks like like Thor's hammer almost in terms of power that she can wield.
Yeah,
the camera's all over the shot. Oh, so egg and bacon and a megastar taco. Okay, cool. Let's keep an eye out for that. Oh yeah, Nick's BC pointing out also 2015 for Djokovic missing out on RG.
Yeah, that's right. That was a surprise. That was a big shocker as well. That Wawrinka match in the final.
Oh yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, double fault to get broken from
So
Fernandez. 2-all.
so we are now 2-all. So 4 games, 4 breaks.
That's right.
It may be a situation where it's whoever holds their serve actually ends up winning the set here.
So Rybakina has a higher first serve points won percentage, and that's at 43%. That's the match we're watching right now. Hope they can, get used to the courts in these next few games. But Rybakina also starts with a double fault, so it's
And she's already and she just said something there, so she's obviously starting to get really quite annoyed with this.
Yeah.
Braz is then asking another question: who is your favorite one slam wonder? Okay, taking out the negative connotation of one slam of wonder, but maybe down to someone who's only won 1 Grand Slam. Right. Okay. I'm gonna have a think about that. What do you think?
Only 1 slam.
Only 1 slam. Where's it? Only won 1 Grand Slam. I have to get the list here.
Maybe Del Potro.
That's a good shout.
Yeah. That was a big run in 2009. Also Dominic Thiem.
Team's a good shout.
And women's. I'm gonna think about this one.
Because Wozniacki's it's only won 1 Grand Slam. Slow as Coco Gauff, slow as Emma Raducanu, slow as Bianca Andreescu. Rybakina's only got 1 Grand Slam.
Oh, that's right.
Just to win Wimbledon. Then you got no longer can you say Barbora Krejcikova after Wimbledon? She's now got 2 Grand Slams.
Mm-hmm.
But Muguruza's has got many. Kerber's got many as well. She's won 3.
Maybe Andreescu.
Andreescu's a good one. I would, yeah. I mean, as a Brit, I loved Emma Raducanu's run. I mean, put it into the context of from qualifier to champion, and
that's crazy.
10 sets in a row, all in straight. As we get our first hold.
Breaking news.
We should have a bell or something just to ring in the hold of serve there from.
And it was with an ace. Things are changing. An ace to hold. Wow.
John's popping up Roddick. Yeah, I think Hewitt as well has only got 1 Grand Slam, and Goran Ivanovic. That time period, that early 2000s time period, was wild in terms of a load of just 1 slam winners. But I would say Emma's run there in the women's side was my favourite, just because it was just so bizarre, and to see a Brit to be able to go do that was just nuts, and it played into the tagline, the fairy tale of New York. But yeah, Dominic, I do love Dominic Thiem as a person, so he was fantastic.
Yeah, Raducanu, that was crazy. 20 sets in a row. That's no joke.
And none of them went to a tiebreaker either. They were all one with 2 clear games.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. It was her closest set was 7-5, and that was to Maria Sharif in the 3rd qualifying round. In the second set there, that was it. Rest of it, the worst case was 6-4.
So I'm just curious because they showed Rybakina's team just as she held serve there, and Vukov, the famous coach, is not there.
He's not there, Mr. Shouty Man. He's not there.
Yeah, I think he's just not there for that week, I guess, because I haven't heard any news. Because I've seen that second coach I had seen before, so maybe she has another coach in her team.
I mean, they were saying on Sky, they were talking. Well, I got Sky Sports as the UK supplier of tennis, watching it on the system. But they were talking about how, because of how many big tournaments are in such this long stretch of time, that it can be quite exhausting to have you try and have you coach there every single week of this period. And I think there was then Jack's main coach James Trotman wasn't there, because we were talking about it during the Jack match. But then also, Alcaraz didn't have Juan Manuel, didn't have Juan Manuel. What am I talking about? Juan Manuel. No, he didn't have Ferrero. He didn't have Ferrero in his box during the Olympics and a couple of other tournaments as well. He wasn't there, and there's some of the times that maybe the main coaching teams aren't going to be there. They're going to take some time before before rocking up, certainly to the slams.
Yeah, and it's not like these type of players concerned, but some of them will want to economize and not bring the coach to 100% of the tournaments, just to save up some budget. Not for Rybakina, obviously. But I've heard a lot of top 50 players even do that.
Yeah, because they don't want to be spending huge amounts of money. Certainly given the amounts that the WTA players earn. I mean, granted, in tournaments like Cincinnati, I think I'm not entirely sure, but I think the pay is equal in Cincinnati with the men's, but the vast majority of the time, the pay amounts that the players in the WTA get are significantly lower than those on the men's circuit, and as such, you can't always afford to keep having your coach with you, either through the direct salary that you pay them for that week, or from having to keep them up in hotels or fly them over to the tournaments. And some of the tournaments are going to be quite, some of the players are going to be quite snooty, or say snooty, but the coach is going to be quite snooty at wanting to fly in, or travel in relative comfort, the higher classes on the planes and whatnot. So it's a very big expense.
Yeah. Let's see if Fernandez will hold here. She has another double fault at 15 love, but then played a good rally, changing directions with her backhand down the line.
But then hits a double fault.
Another double fault this game. 30
so
all.
Rybakina has got a bit of an opening here to maybe try and get a bit of clear blue water between the two of them.
Yeah. So that was her fourth double fault in 3 games.
Goes up, goes across, forehand by Rybakina. Oh, just long though by Rybakina. She's still not finding her she's still not, finding exactly where she wants to be placing the ball each time. Into that there. Just having a look at the weather. I mean, it's not saying it's going to rain. It's not saying it's not going to rain today. It's just going to be overcast for points. I was slightly concerned, actually. I was just like, oh, it's not going to rain, is it? It's not planning on raining, is it?
Yeah, players didn't have the best luck these past weeks. It rained a lot in Paris and the first days. It rained a lot in Canada. They had to play 2 matches in one day.
Yeah. Of course, under 1 week, 64 player type draw, or 56 players, but 64 round draw. Those matches have to be are quite condensed already, so there isn't really much wiggle room.
Yeah, I just saw Fernandez, I think, played 2 matches yesterday because she was in the doubles draw with Putintseva. Interestingly, I didn't see them play together before.
There's always a thing on certainly on the women's circuit, as Fernandez holds as well.
And with 2 service winners back to back, unreturned serves from Fernandez. Now it's 3-all.
It is 3-all.
Will we have a tiebreak, or is someone gonna step up? I think I'm leaning towards a tiebreak.
I think somebody's gonna break and to stay clear. Not to be contrarian, and I hope that doesn't come across as
that's the fun.
I think Rybakina will find her feet just before the end of the set.
That was a clean serve +1 from Rybakina. Found her first serve.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like so much easy power as well from Rybakina. It doesn't look like she's having to put too much into it. It's like just in the swing strokes.
Yeah, but I think Fernandez likes those kind of shots. She stays close to the baseline, just squats and takes the ball on the rise. She's used to that. So she's putting a lot of balls back in Rybakina's court, forcing crazy unforced errors just like that forehand. It's 15-all now. Yeah, Brazy saying Leylah played doubles with her younger sister. Yeah, they made it to the semis in Canada.
Oh, that's a nice drop shot combo by Rybakina there. Brings Fernandez to the net, positions herself perfectly for Fernandez's return ball, and just pokes it away.
Yeah, a great changeup. This is what I like about Rybakina's game. You don't see it that often with the other women's players at the top. She played a lot of drop shots during the clay and grass season.
It's certainly a move that's come back in fashion, the drop shots. It kind of went away for a bit, say 5 years ago. But certainly thanks to Carlos and whatnot, people are seeing it now as a legitimate shot to play to try and win points.
Yeah. And a double fault after that very nice point.
It just reminds me of like a car that's like, it's stuck in third gear, like it's providing good bits at parts, but then just not really kicking on afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, and an ace. This is a
second serve ace. I mean,
yeah.
It's
that was a second serve, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a second serve, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a let. It's and another big serve.
Hold the front door. I think we just had a hole to serve that has not required a deuce.
Yeah.
4-3. Okay, so both players seem to be finding their aims at the moment. Rybakina 4-3 up. It's playing somewhat similar to how it played in Doha at the beginning of the year. That first set that felt very cagey. Both players getting a lot of breaks, not really being able to eke out something in front. Will something similar happen in this match where the person who wins the first set just ends up steamrolling it in the second?
Yeah, then Fernandez will definitely want to hold on to her serve in the next few games, because other than that, if not, the match can be sliding from her hands. Yeah, that was a 6-4, 6-2 scoreline when they played in Doha. So she's not going to want to repeat that.
Absolutely not. Just to give on some score updates around the grounds. On the men's side, Zverev's took in the first set against Kachanov 6-3. Nishioka is a break up against Hurkacz 4-2. And Darderi and Corboli, the all-Italian derby, is 5-all at the moment in the first set. And on the women's side, you've got Ostapenko, who's taken the first set against Avazayan 6-2 and a 1-all in the second. And Slitovina has taken the first set against Bortas Melero 6-4. There we go.
Yeah, those are some quality lucky losers. Avanesian and Buzas. Buzas beat the...
It's always the way in these types of tournaments where you're just going to get quality even in the lucky losers.
Yeah.
It's going to be top 100 players and they're going to be lethal.
Yeah, I mean, Naomi Osaka playing qualifying. That's a big draw.
That was nuts to see, and it was, and she actually got a bit of a terrible second round opponent in that qualifying with Ashlyn Kruger, who's on a very big bit of a tear at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, Kruger is a difficult opponent, not just for qualifying, but overall. And then I think she beat Vekic here in Cincinnati.
She did beat Vekic, isn't it? Yeah, so Kruger's into the second round playing today at some point. I don't actually know. I don't have the timetable. I don't have the timetable in my memorized yet for that one.
Yeah.
But Rybakina here, that was a brilliant ball win there. Just keeping an eye on everything. I mean, what do you think about the fact that these tournaments are going to be going to 12 days next year?
Yeah, I don't like it. Very quick, short answer. I mean, Madrid and Rome are already taking too long, but these ones on top, and I think Shanghai is gonna be like these ones as well. Like one of them is not gonna have a Sunday final. That's very confusing, even for us who are following tennis like every day. And for like, it's gonna be hard, I think, for diehard fans, but mostly for casual fans. Like, how are you gonna watch a final? Maybe was it like it's gonna be on Tuesday or Wednesday? I think. So,
Yeah, I think the plans are like over a Tuesday or Wednesday final, and as we saw this year with the Monday final, that does then mean that, well, the annoying thing I think for us being in that sort of European time zone, me being 0 and you being +2 on the time zone, means that it's in the middle of the morning, or like basically in the middle of the night our time, so we're not able to really watch it unless we want to break our sleep patterns like crazy and watch it. So that's, yeah, it's annoying really, because the one thing you always had in mind for the US tournaments was that, okay, there's going to be night sessions, you're probably going to have to miss out on them, but at least we know we can watch the final because that takes place during the day, and that's going to be, certainly for Canada, it's going to be taken away from us, which is I think a real shame.
Yeah.
And as you say, I already find it confusing when we're having to do these China tournaments that are finishing on like a Wednesday. That means that I can't watch them anyway because I'm working during the week.
Yeah.
To add more on top of that, and as you say, Shanghai, that's already that was rolled out in the first phase. So last year that was a 12-day tournament, and that felt like it certainly by the last 4 or 5 days that was really trying to drag out its content for Shanghai, and to the point of which ridiculousness. So it's going to be, I agree. I don't, as a fan, I don't like the idea of more tournaments going to the, it's nice in March to have those 2 Masters events like they are, because it's a good change of pace.
Yeah.
Because going into that, you have 5 weeks of a lot of tournaments across the world, basically completing in week time frame. So to be able to sort of slow it down and then have these bigger events where you get more players get a chance to play it, that's nice. And then you move into the usual tournaments afterwards. To try and have all that and try to have constantly loads of mini Grand Slams taking place, it does dilute the product. It just makes it sort of frustrating as a fan to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also another up and down game from Fernandez. She hit a double fault and then an ace right after that. And Rybakina played a good rally. But Fernandez has been hitting some unreturned serves. Like has a lot of variety on her serve now. Out wide, she hit a few body serves into Rybakina's forehand, which Rybakina missed. So let's see if she'll close out this game. And now they're waiting for a bug to leave the court.
It's always the way. There's always some sort of wildlife that's going to cause some mayhem.
Yeah. Game point for Fernandez.
Right, is she going to make it 4-all? Or no? I mean, one of the things there was that there was a couple of second serves that Rybakina is just hitting all over the place. Not really, she gets better connection on them, or direction is the key thing, not necessarily direction, but not connection but direction. Like that one there, proper direction. A presto wins the point, back to juice. She has that in the locker just to be able to go, do you know what? I'm not gonna mess around with rallies here. I'm just going to hit it where I want it and get the winner. And good morning, Ashley. Good to see you in the chat. Let's go. Good direction. That was out and break point to Rybakina.
Yeah, Dave says, Super Dave, he, starting a tournament on a Monday is fairly confusing. Starting on a Friday or Saturday makes much more sense because you get both weekends. I agree, but I don't know how to work that with the crazy tennis calendar. I think that's why they're doing it at the Australian Open as well as of this year, starting on a Sunday.
I always have a saying, which is more tennis on Saturday and Sunday is a good thing. In terms of that is when the majority of people can watch your sport. And if it seems bizarre that you were, certainly with the Grand Slams and whatnot, why you then start on a Monday and then not miss out on all those people being able to see, be able to see your tournament and actually get involved in your tournament in the first day, and then drum up that, interest and that desire into your event, because people are at work, and then you're starting your tournament and people aren't watching it. And, what's it they say? The most important thing is a first good impression, and having those Sunday starts at both the AO and French Open does that. I suspect what we're probably going to see is that I suspect the US Open will follow suit at some point in the next 3 years. I think they will see that it will be a success for the Australian Open, and they will want to jump on top of that to start their tournaments. I would then say, unless there was severe pressure, I don't know if Wimbledon would ever do that with a Sunday start. But never say never, really. They have, Wimbledon have been at the forefront of some innovations in the past, quite recently. So, we could never really write that off as a opportunity. As Leylah, Rybakina flying through a service game here, 40-15, about to get the first set by the looks of it.
Fernandez played a very poor point on deuce on her service, and then a deep return from Rybakina. She broke serve, and then 3 fast points. This might be the fastest game of the set at the end here. But
I was like, okay, the previous game's been won by Rybakina. She's got a break. We're going to have a couple of minutes to be able to talk about something else before concentrating on the meat end of this service game. And Rybakina decides, nope, I'm going to go against form and win the set. So Elena Rybakina takes the first set, 6-3. Pretty comfortable, you would probably say, in the second half of that set from Elena. She's starting to find her feet on grandstand court, and is looking pretty good.
Yeah, no tiebreak.
No tiebreak.
Zero points for me. 0 points for me. Yeah.
Vamos, Alice, or come on, or whatever the German version is.
Yeah, that was a very, very quick shift in momentum, and just Rybakina ran away with that break, 5-3, and 4 good points. Double fault in the middle, but that's fine at 40 love. So let's see if this is going to be like Doha.
Is this going to be Doha? Are we going to get Doha Mark II, or is Elena going to say no Doha? I don't know. I tried to make some sort of rhyming thing there, and it probably didn't work out too well on that point.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Rybakina won that set with 5 aces, 7 double faults, 39% first serve in.
Oh, interesting. I've just seen something pop up about the court pace index. Oh, God, that sounds really tennis nerdery, doesn't it? And it was comparing last year to this year. So, because I got the Zverev match open on the other screen, and it popped up. So last year it had a court pace index of 33.2. This year it's been measured at 42.5.
33 last year.
33 last year, and up to 42 this year.
I feel like that's crazy slow for Cincinnati, because it used to be the fastest tournament with Shanghai or something. Maybe they then slowed it down in the recent years, and it's coming back.
I think they have been slowing it down, and they've decided with because of course with hard courts, the way they're able to get pace into the court is by lowering the amount of sand that they put into the actual paint mixture. So anyone doesn't know, if you want for you to get a really fast court, the amount of sand you put in there is very minimal. And if you want a very slow court, you put a lot more sand in there. So something like Indian Wells, for example, there is so much more sand in that court than there would be in, say, Cincinnati here, in which case there was not that much sand in the court, and as such, the ball goes through the court a lot quicker than it would do on a court with much more sand.
Yeah, it makes sense. After all, Djokovic and Alcaraz played for 4 hours in that 3-set final, so it's not just their amazing defensive skills, but apparently the court was slower than it used to be. But yeah, good to know it's come back up, because US Open, the tournament director also said it's going to be above 40, so it's good that this feels more like New York, so the players can, prepare well.
That's what and Bradley asking, the higher the number of the court pace index means faster or slower. Yeah, so the higher the number, the quicker it is. The lower the number, the slower it is. So usually what you'll find is that the court pace index for the majority of the clay court tournaments tends to be in the high 20s. Potentially the odd tournament at altitude being in the low 30s. Indian Wells tends to have a court pace index around about 31, 32. And as we said, usually the fastest court I've seen on tour in the last couple of years has been a Turin court for the World Tour Finals. That has usually been around about 45, 46 on the court pace index. And what we've been noticing with certainly with the indoor courts is that Paris has been doing its best to catch up to Turin with its pace. So a couple of years ago, it was down at around about 30. It was around about 33, 34 Paris, but they've shot it up to around about 38, 39 last year. And I think their aim is to touch 40 this year as well. Hopefully that makes sense. But as you can imagine, if you put sand a lot in the on the court, the more play that takes place, the more sand gets sort of taken off. So usually a hard court will get quicker as the week progresses. It may only be small in increments, but it will be quicker. Brad's saying my local neighbourhood courts must be in the 80s. Most likely, it probably feels like it just literally, it gets quicker when it hits the ground, so the slower.
I have one that I think is in 50s that I'm avoiding.
Well, at that point, it is just a server's paradise.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have a good slice, that's good.
Oh, yeah, a slice ball quickly coming at you would be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying that when it comes to hot, quick courts, what it can end up doing actually is really helping those players that don't necessarily have that much pace in their shots. Because the court gives them something extra to actually make their shots a little bit more singing or a little bit more certainly powerful, and that can really get them into a lot more games and a lot more rallies and whatnot. Whereas for a player that may necessarily be quite good at quite fast balls, they may find the conditions quite they may not be able to control the conditions as well and actually hit a lot more faults.
Yeah, this might have been Fernandez's most comfortable hole in the match. Although
there wasn't a deuce, was there?
Yeah, there was not a deuce, and she won it with a very nice forehand. Her knee almost touching the ground. She took the ball on the rise, as she does. And a nice serve for Rybakina in that first point.
And that feels slightly nervous, learning that Dave's a tennis coach. If I say something stupid, he's going to go, "Oh, what's he saying? This kid from wherever, or this lad from wherever."
Let me get my book out.
Oh, that's a brilliant forehand winner by Fernandez. That's the light on there. Jeez, I realised it's getting darker and darker where I am at the moment. I was like, somewhere I thought I'd still have this daylight and whatnot, but no daylight. Good serve up the tee though there by Rybakina.
Yeah.
I mean, this would end up being a certain if to say that Rybakina has not played any matches since Wimbledon. Since
Wimbledon,
up until this point. To be able to getting Fernandez as your first match is a real bugger of a draw, but she's certainly holding her own at the moment, which is good to see if you're a Rybakina fan.
Yeah. And she doesn't have. I mean, this is a very hard draw overall, but her section of the draw is if she wins this, she might play Schneider or Kruger, and then after that in the quarters she gets Pegula, Muchova, Townsend, or Kasatkina.
That's not bad for her, to be honest. Okay, Mukova is a bit that one's a bit of a boogie draw, but that's not too bad, is it?
I thought it was a hard part of the draw.
Okay.
Because like in the section below them, you got Zhang Qinwen, Frech, Wozniacki, Pavlyuchenkova, Kalinskaya, Badosa, Putintseva, and Goff. Yeah, maybe slightly more difficult for me. Yeah, those body serves into Rybakina's forehand are still working for Fernandez.
Doing their best.
30 love now.
Oh yeah, now 40 love. Okay, so this is turning into an incredibly comfortable service game for.
Yeah, if she wins this one, it's the polar opposite of how we started the match.
Now, what goes there? I will say, it looks like Zverev is looking incredibly comfortable on center court. He is 3 love up already in the third set. Against Karine. And Nishioka has taken the first set against Hurkacz and is 2-1 up in the second, but they're on serve there. Kaboli has taken the first set against Darderi. Avanzaya is 5-2 up in the second, but Ostapenko took the first. And Svitolina is 3-1 up in the second, already taking the first set as well. And this is getting the composure ready. Hits into the net. Not happy with that one. Not happy with that one at all. Double fault. So what looked like it was going to be an easy hold, it's turned a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. She's smiling to her camp. I'm wondering if it's like mental,
gritted teeth, as they would say.
Regrouping tactic.
But then what an ace though, just to see off those blues.
I mean, if it worked. Then she should smile at before every service motion. That's an ace.
Yeah, 2-1 up. Okay, so we're not this isn't acting like the start of the this isn't acting like the start of the first set where it was break. It's everyone's sticking on serve at the moment, just being solid, which is a very good place to be.
I see there's a nice one-hander versus two-hander discussion in the chat. Have you seen that video ATP did with the one-handed backhand players?
Yeah, I did. Okay, we're going to start doing everything two-handed.
Yeah.
Like team trying to brush his teeth or...
Exactly.
Like,
that was some creative stuff. And not bad acting from certain players.
No,
I enjoyed that.
They really they really throw themselves into it, which is fantastic. It's almost as they know that these are fun videos. Everybody loves them, and it's a great way of getting a good bit of exposure.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, maybe if you search ATP one-handed backhand Dimitrov, because he kind of hosts the video. That was a fun.
It was like the ATP scripting video that they did at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Everything's scripted. This is a big show, big TV series, and actually, none of this is actually real. Like they're not actually, there's no jeopardy in this. There's a set winner from the start.
Yeah. And I forgot how many one-handers there still are in the top 100. Like Brazy saying, Chris Eubanks eating soup with 2 hands on a spoon. That was also a fun a part of the video.
Yeah, because you say like Dimitrov, Musetti, Mapeshi Pericard, he's got a single-handed backhand.
Yeah.
He's
Lajovic.
Dan Evans on there as well. He's known for having a single-handed backhand. It was a bit of a throwback there. Dominic Thiem, Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the way though with a single-handed backhand that practically it's probably better to have a two-handed backhand, but it just looks so good, a single-handed backhand in full flight. As Rybakina has got herself in a bit of trouble here. Love 30 down on a serve.
Yeah, it was a very nice return from Fernandez in the first point, and then a double fault from Rybakina.
Now she's facing a second serve here.
Wow, that was a long way out. She requested a line check, Rybakina, on that serve. And another double fault.
Yikey! This is turning into a bit of a Blair game for Rybakina.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere. 2 double faults in a row, and Fernandez has 3 break points.
Out there by Fernandez, so that's one of them back. Super Dave saying the two-hander is just better to return serve. That's the main difference. Certainly can be. Certainly serve is certainly where the single-hander can be exposed a lot, because you can hit a serve with a good bit of kick and power. It's very hard with a single-handed backhand to try and return that.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Hurkacz is taking an injury timeout at the moment.
Yes, Rybakina hit 2 good serves to bring it to 30-40, but Fernandez gets some help from the net. Rybakina puts her forehand out wide, long, sorry. And Fernandez is now up 3-1.
Is she going to run away with this second set? I know she would like to run away with the second set.
So Doha is off. I think we can say that.
Yes, Doha is certainly off. Ooh, into that by Fernandez. Just kind of clocked out of that rally. Just tried to finish it a bit too early with a redirected shot.
Yeah, she'll want to re-break right here. I'm curious about those advanced stats like re-break in the first game percentage, but that's not. I mean, with WTA, not a lot is available, so that's too much.
Sorry, I had to react like that. That was a forehand cross court of any description.
Yeah, I mean, she has been receiving that same serve whole match almost on the ad side. Finally, another return winner.
Back down by Rybakina.
Another very deep return from Rybakina.
Was that out? It was in. Yeah, it was in. I'm about to say, it looked in. It's just obviously something that Fernandez just couldn't cope with. And all of a sudden, looks like the boomerang break is on.
Yeah, you can never tell from Rybakina's face, so that's not helpful. You don't know if she won or lost the point.
I just love her reactions when she wins big titles. There's no emotion whatsoever.
And another very good return.
I mean, the power. When when Rybakina can get it locked in, it is it takes only the likes of a Sabalenka or a Swiatek to be able to deal with that power at times.
Yeah, she breaks the love right back 2-3 on serve now.
Right. Okay. So Rybakina's like, no, I fancy. I want to still win this in two. I've got no intention of taking this the distance.
Yeah.
But they always say with a break, it's never truly a break until you consolidate.
Mm.
And no consolidation took place there. It's still very overcast in Cincinnati, but they're not expecting rain today. I think there is a bit of a threat of rain tomorrow, unfortunately, though. But I know the tournament will be determined to at least get all their second round matches completed today. And of course, it's all new branding and on the centre court, new seats as well in Cincinnati. They had spent a lot of money on a bit of a facelift this year.
Mm. Yeah, I think they had to invest big time, otherwise the city was going to lose the event, as far as I remember.
Yeah, there was a serious potential that because the event had been brought by, I think it's Navarro's family. That it was going to be taken to Charlottesville in South Carolina, but obviously I think a lot of the players and a lot of fans around the Mason, Ohio area managed to at least work to keep it in Cincinnati. I think they got a deal for the next 25 years or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised with that because all I've seen from players is just not so pleasant commentary about Mason, Ohio. I saw Kasatkina's TikTok, showing her hotel room view.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, you're a tennis player. It must be so great to travel the world. And then she gets to the hotel room, opens the curtains, and it's looking out onto a massive highway. And it's like, right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're used to, the best cities and the best views and the best hotels. And she was saying on her vlog that it's very difficult to get from Canada to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I must imagine it was because both Cincinnati Airport and Mason Airport don't really have that many big international flights that go into it.
Yeah, apparently there was one, but it was about $1,000, like 700, 800, she was saying. And then they decided to get indirect flight. Which was about 7-8 hours, and then they were saying on the vlog, I think they were thinking out loud, maybe we should have just drove there, which I heard Townsend did. She drove overnight, and then won qualifying in Cincinnati.
That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Yeah, because you imagine, you look at things about a big stretch of the seasons. Yeah, certainly get around the North American areas, Washington to Toronto or Montreal is quite easy because both those two have huge international airports with multiple flights a day leaving to go to each other. And the people at Indian Wells tend to fly out of Los Angeles, and you can get to Miami quite easily from Los Angeles. There's so many flights that do that route. But as you say, Cincinnati is a little bit harder to get to. It's a little bit. It's I know from the UK, for example, there's only one flight every 2 or 3 days with BA to get to Cincinnati itself. So it's not very easy to get to city.
Yeah, 30 all at Rybakina's serve, but she hits a very nice serve at +1, followed by an ace and hold serve. Now it's 3 all. Oh, David's saying
my city just got retired. I know that was I would say it's a shame. It's a shame that any city that had a tennis tournament is going to have it taken away. It was a real. I have to admit, I was really disappointed at the way in which that tournament ended this year, in terms of basically at 1 o'clock in the morning with nobody really there to watch it, which I thought was a bit of a sad way for a tournament to go out. I would think it would have been better if the tournament just called it by 10 o'clock and just brought it back the next day to at least try and have a bit of a better ending. But yeah, as part of the tournament calendar swap, it's been taken out. The Atlanta one, and it always sort of sees itself as a bit of a start of the hardcourt season, but that is no longer the case.
And Dave says there's an amusement park near the tennis center in Mason. You sometimes hear fireworks from the park at night. Okay, sounds like Australia Day, when they have the fireworks and play has to be stopped.
I've got a feeling that it's spitting.
Oh. I mean, the only good thing for us out of this weather is you can very clearly see the ball. It's not like that crazy glare.
Oh, damn! You give me a chance here to rant. I cannot believe how bad how bad being able to see the ball looks on centre court for Cincinnati during the daytime when the sun's out. You cannot see that ball.
Yeah, no.
And it is alarming that they have the same issue last year. Yeah, they had the same issue last year, and it's still persisting this year. And I don't know why it still is. In terms of not rechanging the camera angle after what would have been the complaints last year from broadcasters, because unless it's the nighttime matches or once it gets to that twilight period of time, you cannot see what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, they stopped playing now. It doesn't look like it's raining, but they're just making sure the lines are dry. Yeah, the umpire is saying it's stopped and we're good. That was a quick sit down.
Well, just to give you some results, men's results just come in. So Darderi has retired against Kaboli. So Kaboli is making his way to the third round. But still drawing the line for Rybakina is still not happy. I think there's a point where the umpire goes, look, it's not raining, the court's dry, you're going to have to play.
Yeah, the umpire just said, if it feels unsafe, just let me know. As they both go back to the baseline.
Of course, rain's going to potentially be a bit of a bigger problem. A bit of a bigger problem as the years go by because of climate change. Because with there being more moisture in the air as the earth warms up, there's greater chances for rain to affect summer tournaments. So
every tournament has a roof or two nowadays.
Well, barring Cincinnati, which doesn't. The what is it? Rome is investing at the moment in getting a roof on their centre court.
Okay.
So they should have a roof on soon. And then what else have we got? Madrid already has a roof because the clay courts are built into a massive box which has three roofs on the first three courts. And apparently, there's a big old thunderstorm just northwest of Cincinnati at the moment.
Oof. Okay.
So that may explain why we get a bit of a residual rain here. But interestingly, because we're playing at the moment on grandstand, and then on the court just adjacent to it is that a double fault? That was in. Great cross court winner from Rybakina. But on centre court, they are still suspended with play.
Okay. Yeah, this happens sometimes. One court continues play and the other will stop playing.
Yeah, there was that situation, wasn't it, the French Open, where it was an Andreescu match where it was raining. It felt like quite hard, but I think it was one of those. It was like the second or third day of issues with rain. That on that court, the umpire was like, "No, we're just going to continue here," and all the other courts got suspended, but her court. And she got off court after Andreescu won and was like, "Oh, you all stopped playing," and they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, hang on, why were we still playing then?"
Yeah, and clay is always the most subjective when it comes to rain. because they can't continue under light rain. But yeah, that happens when you have all these courts covered, and then there's going to be one court continuing playing. Yeah, I think Wozniacki played Fernandez, if I remember correctly, where she was just telling the umpire to stop at every possible moment.
The umpire was like, "Nope." All that forehand went out there. I'm sure with this potential risk of rain constantly popping up that they would want to. Well, it looks as though they're about. I think the risk is about to get even a bit less than a little bit there, because it looks like they're about to start play again on the centre court.
Yeah, Fernandez saved the break point after starting this comeback with a double fault. Let's see if she'll close this out.
Well, she will, because Rybakina hits a forehand long or backhand long. Rightio, so that is 4-3 to Fernandez at the moment. How do you think? We're certainly now past, certainly at the halfway mark. How do you see this set going?
It's very hard to tell, but Rybakina has to. I think Rybakina is winning this one with one strong return game, which she has shown, and across the match.
So do you fancy Rybakina finishing it in straights?
Yeah, I think so.
I think she's going to take the set. I'm not going to be contrary this time. I'm going to go with you, and I actually believe that's going to be what is going to happen here. As much as Fernandez is putting on a good show at the moment in terms of just trying to hold back the Rybakina tide, I do think the dam will burst at some point.
Yeah. I mean, Rybakina is serving with 65% this set, so much higher than that 39% in the first set. But she did hit those 2 double faults in that one game, which held Fernandez. Fernandez was a break up even. Let's see what happened.
But Super Dave pointing out those backhands are like 10 yards out. 10 feet at 10 yards, 10 feet.
And the forehands too. She's spraying some baseline shots like grand stroke.
Certainly, this is not necessarily a most vintage performance. Like, she certainly is trying to find her range at this point. But at the moment, she's doing enough to beat Leylah.
Yeah,
and that's all that really matters at this stage. You can, she'll hope to play herself into form. Hopefully, get through this match and get a bit of a run, bit of a run this week. But she'll know that this level you cannot bring, certainly against the top players in the world, and certainly at the Open, you're going to need to be playing a bit better than what she's doing at the moment. And Super Dave saying if it gets to a tie break, probably Rybakina will win. I would certainly agree with you on that one. That I'd expect Rybakina to at least hold more of her serves better than Fernandez.
So this is interesting. Rybakina, I'm just checking, has not played one tiebreak at Wimbledon, in Berlin, or Roland Garros. So that's 13 matches. The last one she played was in the Madrid semifinals, deciding set against Sabalenka.
Bloody hell, that's a brilliant stat and a half. She either breaks her opponent and serves it out, or should they break her?
Yeah.
Could we be on to break that streak? Oh, what a serve out wide! That really kicked off at to the side of the court there.
Yeah.
Fernandez just only gets about a racket onto it, but no real control in terms of the direction of where it's going to be put. MC forehand up the line again, just with that, trying to find a range, just not there at the moment for the Kazakh.
Sardiol, big point. Yeah.
Oh, and then a brilliant serve out wide. It's, it's feast to famine with Rybakina. It's either brilliance or sheer stupidity.
What an angle. That was almost the middle of the box.
Oh, was that out? Oh, that looked like it was going to be in there. Goes down the tee. Nice one down the tee. Oh, just clips the net, but falls back on her side of the net. So at juice there. She should, though, in those situations, if we're going to be critical, mid-court forehand, putting them away, not clipping the top of the net.
Yeah, it felt like she changed her mind at the last minute. I don't know if that's the case, but that was a weak forehand.
I mean, it's all about your thought process in those points there, and I'm sure Super Dave will prove me wrong on this. But if the ball you're going to hit is going to be a winner, just make sure you play with as much margin as you can. She's now double faulted to take it to advantage Fernandez. That situation there, she didn't have to hit it as low as she ended up doing so to try and get the winner.
Yeah, and it didn't look close. It was going to be close to the line either, on either side.
And now there's a bit of danger here. Oh, but that's it's like a jail pass at times. That's
yeah. So she's taking inspiration from that theme park roller coaster.
That is you on is Rybakina on the Monopoly board of the court, picking out the chance card, and it's saying "Get out of jail free."
Oh,
and she does it again.
Another ace. Yeah, the shoulders opened up all right.
Like what I said, it's like an eagle, like a winged eagle, like the Kazakh eagle.
Oh my God.
Oh, flipping Iona.
No, this one's far out. The forehand. The first shots, yeah, she's not timing those well. Two times in a row now, she lost the game point with a forehand error.
Again, does it have to have that much margin? No. Oh, finally, a mid-court forehand. She keeps on the island. And on that one, she actually had to play a little bit less margin to guarantee a winner.
Yeah.
It's like the easier the shot, the greater the chance she's going to miss it. Oh, did you get that? Just about lands in. Up the line by thingy. Oh, but
brilliant from
again another mid-court. But that mid-court forehand she played with too much margin, too safe, and Fernandez just read it perfectly.
I mean, credit to Fernandez. She's just putting her racket on all those difficult serves from Rybakina, either causing an unforced error from her opponent or a brilliant passing shot like she did now. That first serve was closer to the baseline.
Wow. The line, and that was long. Good God, the mistakes are flying off the Rybakina racket at the moment.
Yeah, the feet are not lining up for a forehand. It's been a lot this game.
Good pick out. That foot work isn't really doing it for her at the moment. Advantage here for Fernandez. Short ball, right to Fernandez. Fernandez hits a brilliant backhand up the line and takes the break. So Fernandez now will be coming out serving for the second set.
So I am about to be 0 for 2 in the guesses today. Let's see if Fernandez will close this out.
Well, it's not over until it's over.
Yeah,
we have seen the boomerang break a lot in this match so far.
Yeah, she missed a lot, Rybakina, and then hit that very tentative approach shot just in the middle of the court. Slow backhand. Yeah, she had broken right back at the beginning of the set. Let's see if she'll do that again. It was a love break too.
Cross court, forehand cross court, forehand by Fernandez. Oh, but Rybakina's back in it.
Do you think to yourself, why didn't I do this in the last points? Or,
Well, I think you start thinking that during tennis matches, you'd go mad, wouldn't you? Why did I do X, Y, and Z during it and all that?
Yeah, inner game of tennis.
Cross court. Oh, good serve out wide by Fernandez. Just give some score updates to people. Svitolina has beaten Bulkus Marino. And Avensan has is not only taken the second set to make it to a third. She's 4-1 up in the in the third set against Ostapenko.
I mean,
Zverev has beaten Kachanov 6-3, 6-2. It's all happening.
Avanesian played a very close match against Ostapenko at the US Open last year, lost 7-5 in the third.
Yikes.
She had great Grand Slam results last year, and I heard that it's her first tournament representing Armenia. So she switched from Russia to Armenia.
She has. There's been a couple of players that have done that or certainly have switched nationalities this year.
Yeah.
What was it? Shevchenko at the start of the year.
Yeah.
He switched to represent Kazakhstan. And I keep pronouncing her name wrong. Avancian, I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but anyway, you're switching to Armenia. But it's interesting because maybe Karen Kachanov, if this continues, he has Armenian blood and heritage that he may end up choosing to change his allegiance to Armenia as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Brazy saying Gracheva as well. She had been
Gracheva changing from Russian to French. Yeah, that was good memory. Good memory.
Yeah, I didn't realize she had been training in France for about 10 years in the same academy with Medvedev, I think.
That's it. Medvedev's going to represent France as well.
I mean, he speaks perfect French. So, I mean, I don't know how perfect it is. It sounds very good.
Sounds all right.
Oh.
Double fault by Fernandez, and that gives Rybakina a break back point.
No for serve.
Second serve, though. Super Dave saying not a Zverev fan, but he's been annoyingly consistent recently. He certainly has. He does not get beat early, and he's getting deep in big tournaments. And there's a double fault, and this set ain't over. What did I say? What did I say? It is not over until it is over.
She should have smiled before serving. That's 2 double faults after 30 all. And Rybakina breaks serve without touching a racket, touching the ball in those 2 points. That was a big gift.
It was a gift. You've got Jake saying he went for a run when it was very, very heavy rain.
Welcome back, Jake.
Just stick yourself under a what you call them, hair dryer, dry yourself off, and enjoy a bit of Cincinnati tennis. Rocky soundtrack, no doubt.
Yeah, how many holes does Leylah have today? It's a good question. So she held 4 out of 9 times.
Ouch! That is not good.
That's below 50%. And Rybakina held 5 out of 9 times. So
that's not any better.
Close match.
Both these two players are just not holding as much as they should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently it's a fast court too.
Oh, is that an ace? That was an ace, wasn't it?
It's a double fault.
Oh shit! Sorry.
This match, 19 double faults. No, 20 now altogether. 11 from Rybakina, 9 from Fernandez.
Right, okay, so Rybakina here has decided to make it much more difficult than what she should be doing, because at the moment she's facing a second serve, goes out wide, Fernandez just about gets to it, but it only hits the net, probably a good joint point, as that was a mid-court forehand, and she would not want to be facing one of them again.
Those are two back-to-back bold second serves, one missed and one very nice one. Yeah, she doesn't want to hit that +1 shot, definitely. Yeah, no first serves in this game.
No, the first serves are not popping up.
That was another fast second serve.
Good. Backhand mode. Oh, that just no direction. Where are you putting it? Do you know, Dave? You're saying the exact same thing I've heard, which is apparently the first 4 rows on the centre court has some sort of aircon with them. I would not want to know the electricity bill to be trying to do that much aircon, but that's a pretty neat thing if you're in the front 4 rows to get a bit of aircon flying at you.
That's another double fault from Rybakina.
Just a double fault as well, literally by like a fingertip.
Yeah, I mean, that previous second serve was 110 miles, 180 kilometers per hour, and it was a slice serve too. She's going like Kyrgios Bublik level second serves now. Must be irritated or something. But an ace to save the set point.
Let's go score. Bad backhand by Fernandez. That takes it to advantage. Was that in?
Yeah,
it was. Oh, to be honest, I thought that was out. That's why I was like quite surprised. I was like, I've seen other balls that have been out that have been closer to the line than what my eyes saw there. But no, 5-5. Are we about to see a tiebreaker?
Yeah, let's see.
Are we gonna break the curse? So are we gonna break the record? Now, if Rybakina wants to win this, she's got to get the break hit. She's got to break here to make sure she doesn't actually have to face her in a tiebreaker.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm going back in her results, and I think it's that famous tiebreaker that caused it. That she doesn't want to play that tiebreakers anymore. The one that ended 22-20 at the Australian Open. The one she lost.
Yikes. Right, okay. Oh, bit of an aborted ball toss there. Oh, that just clipped the line. And that is... Oh, no, it didn't. Shoot, scratch that. I've got no sound. I thought that was in.
Yeah, just out, I think.
I thought that was in. To me, that looked good on the line.
You know how they have these shot quality index numbers at the ATP now.
Yeah.
And it's apparently calculated based on depth, distance to the lines. I mean, I wonder what the score for Rybakina would be, like for forehand, below 5 out of 10, I would say.
Oh, I'd certainly say a low 6 at the best at the moment. I remember seeing that stat pop up at the Wimbledon during. I remember it most prominently versus Rybakina's match against Lulu's son, where Lulu's average was something like 7.5, but in that match it was 9.1, and I was like, I can see why it was 9.1.
Yeah, you could actually see it.
I was like, I can see this forehand is ridiculously good today.
Yeah.
Forehand internet from Rybakina there. Just didn't get a proper purchase on that. 30 all.
Nice tee serve from Fernandez. 30 all.
Forehand long from Rybakina there. Should be. I'm happy with that one. Just in a way, I know that it's easy power, but at times it can just look lazy.
I see Avanesian beat Ostapenko in 3 sets.
So Penko's gone. You know, it's I expected a little, certainly given the start that was out, wasn't it? Yeah. Given the start of the season for Ostapenko, I expected her to really kick on this year, and this hasn't happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, at one point she was beating everyone not named Azarenka. There was a stat at the beginning of the year. She won back-to-back tournaments. Very good run at Wimbledon. Ooh, double fault.
Ooh. Let's go. Oh, what a forehand cross court. And there we go. Rybakina has the break. It is 6-5.
I was sure it was going to be.
Our prediction is just about holding still at the moment. It's just about treading water.
Yeah, I was sure she was going to miss that into the net, but a good one. A good forehand from Rybakina this time. Fast feet.
Well, she's now coming out to serve for the match.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, that was 3 games in a row from Rybakina. Helped by Fernandez. Fernandez hit her 10th double fault in that game. Only 3 aces. Rybakina at least has 15 aces to her 11 double faults.
Well, at least you got more aces than double faults, which is probably a better place to be in.
No, I'm sorry, it's 12 for Rybakina, but positive overall difference. Yeah, I see Avanesian is in this nice section. She's going to play the winner of Samsonova against Lynette.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she created her own section, to be honest. She beat Andreescu and Ostapenko back-to-back. Good results.
Not too bad at all.
And that came after losing to Harriet Dart in the qualifying. 4-1.
Good old Hazard.
Yeah. What a match she played against Bolter. That was a lot of emotions at one point.
Yeah, it's those two really have a grudge match whenever they play each other. It's really is huge, big hitting from both of them and high quality. I will say that it was annoying, certainly with Dart beating Bolter and then Jack being beaten by Cam in that match, beaten by Cameron Norrie in the Wimbledon, because although it was great wins for those two players that won, it kind of ruined any hope of any British runs in those two draws. Because actually they beat the player that was more likely to actually have a run than themselves, and that basically played out where they both then lost in the next round.
Yeah, that was a horrible, horrible forehand miss from Rybakina. But
lovely drop shot there from Rybakina, though.
Yeah, beautiful, like almost like semi-volley.
Out there by Rybakina. Just as she wants to make sure she gets this done, she's just going to have to keep her concentration here.
No.
Oh, what a thing. Stick a backhand right to the feet of Fernandez and watch she just flails to try and get some sort of contact on the thing back. 30-15.
Inside out backhand. 2 points away now.
Great serve, great forehand up the court, out into the tram lines, and that makes it 40-15. So 2 match points here to basically put away, sort out a very tricky match and get a good result from it.
Yeah, backhand to her rescue. I'm guessing, it's only 1 point left, but Fernandez might want to go to Rybakina's forehand. If she can.
Tries to go down the tee, just slightly long. Goes cross court. Double fault that wasn't it?
Yeah, she just wants to get out of there. Another fast second serve. Very wide. Another match point.
All right, second match point. Is she going to take it now? Tries to go down the tee, hits the net, second serve. He's looking a little bit more shaky. Double fault.
2 double faults at 40-15 up, 2 match points.
Good God, you can tell that she hasn't played tennis in a while. Bounces on the top of the net. I think there's a concern here. She may not actually do it. That actually came in. That, though, was in from Fernandez. A brilliant backhand cross-court winner. And now Fernandez has a break-back point.
Return winner. She has a point to take the set to the tiebreak.
Rybakina needs a first serve here if she doesn't want to get herself into trouble. Doesn't get it. Let's see, backhand by Rybakina. Backhand, forehand. Perfect forehand from Leylah, and we're into a tiebreak.
Perfect. Amazing.
You got to say it was kind of in the making of Rybakina there. 2 double faults at 40-15 up is not how you win tennis matches.
It looked like she lost discipline match points up. The latter second serves were more like her. But let's see what she's going to do at the tiebreak.
Oh, Leylah gets the first point.
Another down the line, this time the backhand for Fernandez. Rybakina, I think, is just surprised. Fernandez is getting these back as winners. Yeah.
I mean, in these situations, as a player, it's about, certainly when you try to serve out the match and you fail to do so, and it goes to a breaker, your mind can still linger on that previous service game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cross court winner, just played with a little bit more margin there, just getting the balls in.
Yeah, all of a sudden, two brilliant forehands from Rybakina.
But still not finding a first serve. Caught backhand by Fernandez. Into the net there by Rybakina. And the first mini break goes the way of the Canadian.
Yeah, Fernandez has found form with her backhand cross-court return in these last games.
It's caught. Sliced there by Rybakina. Backhand by Fernandez.
Yeah, brilliant backhand.
Brilliant backhand. It was close. Rybakina was looking at the ground there afterwards.
3-1 Fernandez now.
Super Dave saying she doesn't like Rybakina's chances as it goes to a third. It could get tricky if it goes to a third.
Rybakina's.
But that backhand miss by Fernandez, Rybakina's saying, I'm not done in this set just yet.
I think I have to agree with Dave. I mean, she doesn't look like her, best self. I don't know if it's physical or, but sometimes, like at times, it looks like she doesn't want to be there.
Probably doesn't, to be honest. But here's an ace. We get a rarity. We get an ace, and we're 3-all. So, go to the chair. Even Stevens. We do go to the chair. Even Stevens. Oh. I've got shouting dogs outside my house. I'm trying to work out what's happening. We're all very much engaged in what's happening here. Tries to get up the tee, just goes into the net. So we've got a second serve here. Something potentially for Fernandez to attack. It's a double fault.
Yeah, it's another one of those second serves that she hit in the
previous
previous
an ace
game.
followed by a double fault.
Fernandez now has a chance to go 6-3 up with 2 service points on her own. 4-3.
That was a perfect placement for Fernandez. 5-3.
What a serve.
That was a brilliant serve there. Fernandez goes for score. Forehand by backhand, forehand into just a lazy forehand again from Rybakina. Not getting the lift that she needs to on that one.
Yeah, Fernandez just kept going to Rybakina's forehand, which has been not very good today, to say the least, and has 3 set points. Yeah, another first serve missed.
Straight into the net, like just not getting the height on it.
Yeah, I think she has like 1 out of 10 in the last 10 serves. Wow.
And a double fault to give Fernandez the second set.
Yeah, she's looking at the umpire. What's happening? Fernandez wins the tiebreak in just over an hour.
There's been certainly 2 longish sets from both of them.
Yeah, it was 3-all, and then 2 double faults from Rybakina, 2 good points from Fernandez.
Rybakina will be seething from the fact that she was serving for it. She was 40-15 up. At that stage, it just looked like a good ball into court should be enough to get the match done for her. And 2 double faults, and she basically hands the opening to the set straight back to the Canadian.
Yeah, 2 match points, 2 double faults.
Interesting. I mean, you'd certainly say at the moment that the momentum is certainly with the Canadian.
Yeah.
I mean, fundamentally, Rybakina needs to play a damn sight better than she is at the moment. Completely cut out these double faults, hit way more aces or at least unreturnables, and needs to be much more consistent with the forehands and the backhands in the rally in terms of both placement and also height. Hopefully, that pretty much sounds like an entire bit of the game, to be honest, but what I picked out at least.
Yeah, not the easiest match on her way back to the hard courts. Fernandez is checking her notes, but for Rybakina, it's been tricky, missing 2 match points. Yeah, I wanted to see Rybakina during this changeover, but they never showed her. Well, they're going back.
I get what you mean. It's just looking very, very white-faced. Ashen face, as they would say.
And it's crazy. She starts the set with an ace. I mean, if she found that serve a few times just in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, and again, going cross court, lazy forehand.
Yeah. Yeah, if she retires at any point, I will not be surprised. She's not moving at all for those first shots after serve. Yeah, and then
an actual proper serve.
And then she hits an ace.
It's one or the other. We're back to it's one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually one or the other. 17 aces, 16 double faults. So they're going head to head.
That's cool. Good second serve, though, that was. Kept her as the main aggressor in that point. and is able to get it to 40-15. Right, is she going to be able to at least win the first game of the set just to steady the ship?
Yeah, Fernandez just needed to block that return for Rybakina to miss that forehand.
I mean, it feels like it's harder to miss than it is to hit. I mean, it was open. It was literally open. You just need to hit it in.
Oh,
I
finally.
mean, Fernandez is giving a bit of a freebie over there.
I mean, Rybakina's walk. She's had enough, but she's gonna keep going. Let's see what's happening elsewhere.
Scores around the ground. Let's go through 8 scores around the ground. So at the moment, Hurkacz has gone to a third set. I think it was pointed out in the chat, which would be fantastic, against Nishioka. Hurkacz won the second set on the tiebreaker. Karina Buster is a break up 3-2 against Max Purcell. And Nice and Zelinsky have taken the first set against Gonzalez and Mondelli. Also, they've won the match actually against Gonzalez and Mondelli. Scratch that. And then other results, Sabalenka and Coccianato have gone on to centre court. And same as Samsonova and Lynette on court 10. And Aisling Kruger, we just talked about her, is playing Diana Schneider, and she's 4-2 up in the first set.
Good start. Yeah, Rybakina thinks she's finishing these points off with another amazing inside-out backhand, but Fernandez put it back in court again.
Oh, for flipping heck. How can you hit them that badly?
Yeah, the forehand return has not entered the chat yet.
It's not entered the chat. He's not even got a blooming login at this stage. Okay, just about gets to it.
Yeah, and
That's how you do a forehand, Rybakina, shown by Fernandez.
Yeah, Fernandez looks like she smelled blood. She's moving better, serving better than in the first set, definitely. And a serve out wide just to mix things up. It's not to the forehand.
Very straightforward service game.
Great game.
Hits it long there by Rybakina.
Yeah, that was the first love game. Fernandez won this match on her serve.
Yeah, this isn't looking great from Rybakina there. I mean, that was meant to be quite straightforward forehand up the line and just ends up hitting it right to the middle of the tram line.
Yeah. Yeah, we're watching a lot of different types of double faults this match. Fast ones and...
How badly can one player play a game of tennis and still look semi-competitive?
Yeah.
Just on the line, comes to the net, goes for the drop shot. Fernandez, though, hits it long. She didn't have much room to work with there.
Yeah, I was sure that second serve was out. I'm just so used to it by now. But yeah, another very risky serve. But this time,
We'll just say as well, if anyone can see, if you haven't already and you're in the chat, do subscribe to the channel. You could be that 9,664th person, and then the person after you could be the 9,665th person. The same, we're getting tantalizingly close to having the capacity of the Grandstand Arena at Flushing Meadows very soon.
Nice way to put it.
Myself and the burner account have already subscribed. Thanks for that. And the forehand goes long from Rybakina.
Yeah, she finally hit a very safe second serve, and Fernandez just ate that up. It was a very nice return. Thank you, John. Yeah, if you speak Turkish, the chances are slim to none, I know, but you can check our YouTube channel as well.
We're an international channel. That's
Yeah.
We'll have loads of different speakers. From
I mean,
all over
it
the
did
world.
happen in this chat that someone was in fact speaking Turkish.
It's not a very big game in Turkey, or at least it doesn't feel like it's a big game. I mean, Turkey when it comes to tennis. At least I can't really think of any top-ranked Turkish tennis players.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, I know a lot of your tournaments have been sort of taken off the calendar in recent years.
That's right. Yeah, it's not. We have a lot of ITF tournaments, but the lowest level, like 15.
Antalya always seems to have a tournament every week, doesn't it?
Exactly. Antalya is one of those cities like Monastir and Sharm el Sheikh, which will have. I mean, they have good weather down there, so they can host tournaments. I don't know, 9 months a year. And then, yeah, we do have a lot of red clay in the south, and that's where most of our players come from. Yeah, we're sending one player to the U.S. Open qualifying, Zeynep Sönmez, a friend of the show.
Excellent.
She did an interview with John. Teşekkürler Nurla.
So your hope is that the sport will grow in some degree.
Yeah, not a lot of signs, but definitely hope. We're hoping.
No, I mean, as I say, like I have been whenever I watch some of the WTA had a couple of clay court events in Istanbul for what was it? Not I think last year they were there and the year before, but the stands always looked very empty whenever I turned on, which was a real shame.
Yeah, and yeah, the organization was a bit weak because people love tennis actually. The Grand Slams, French Open and Wimbledon specifically get a lot of attention, and Istanbul did host the WTA finals 3 years in a row, packed crowds almost every night. That was good times. More than 10 years ago. Hopefully we'll get some sort of organization back.
I'm sure at some stage Istanbul will host the Labour Cup at some point, as it's going from like every European city.
Yeah. Padel is almost non-existent here. There's just only a few courts that I know of. Yeah, Fernandez.
Fernandez here is looking solid as a rock.
Just hitting aces
on a service games. Oh, we did it! Somebody did. Thank you, Camilla, for becoming the 9,664th person to subscribe to the channel. Forehand by Rybakina, cross-court by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina, forehand beautifully put away. Oh, that was a lovely cross-court forehand there by Fernandez.
Yeah, she loves making those inside out forehands without an angle, like from the middle of the court. It's brilliant.
Oh, that ball flew just slightly away from her there.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much Rybakina is holding on to these rallies, to be honest.
Well, if you're feeling a bit gippy and you're 40 love down, just sack it off really and get yourself back on your service game.
Yeah.
I mean, you always wonder that with players. Actually, is it really worthwhile you busting a gut, being 40 love down on your opponent's serve to try and get back onto it, or is it much better just to basically just hit a half-assed forehand and then just and go get back onto your service game and try again on the next time and save a bit of energy?
Yeah. I think there are different styles. With some players, you can sense that they will never let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't say rare because I don't remember Fernandez hitting an easy forehand out recently. Error from the Canadian, and it's 40-30 all of a sudden.
So it's got a little bit more interesting. Is Fernandez going to quash this or hit a forehand or hit a serve quite long there?
Oh, good thing Rybakina didn't give it up in that first point.
Scratch what I said. Strike me as somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. Rybakina's now got a chance here.
Yeah.
Wow, Fernandez's sister looks remarkably like Fernandez. That one's long, so there's a chance here. There's a bit of an opening.
Yeah, Nurlan's asking who I like at the WTA tour, apart from Zeynep Sönmez. I think that includes everyone. I really like watching Muchova. Maybe my favorite player to watch.
Super Dave saying, I'm trying to tell myself that it's a gateway sport in regards to paddle, to tennis, but then I wait for pickleballers to get off the tennis court and a single tear comes to my eye. You're in an area with pickleballers, Dave. No, Mukova has a really good game to her. It's a really exciting game to watch. I think it's a good way to describe it. Like it's not boring. It's actually really exciting.
Yeah, I like Iga too. Kalinskaya has been interesting to watch this year. Incredible results since the start of the year. Oh, will Fernandez make a move now? Won the first point on Rybakina's serve. Oh, Andreeva. I'm guessing Mira. Yeah, she's a fun one.
What is it? The mainstream option is to go for Mira. The hipster option is to go for Electra.
Erica.
Erica. Yeah. The hipster option is to say Erica Andreeva.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what she's going to do with Conchita Martinez now. Looks like they've been working well together, Mira Andreeva and her.
Yeah. Got a first title, but Rybakina is in trouble.
Love 40 now.
Love 40 to Fernandez. Is this going to be the straw that breaks this camel's back? You know, can Fernandez get the break and then stay away? It's a bit like probably because I watched too much Olympics. It's a bit like a cyclist at a road race, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the times, Rybakina, she unfortunately, something. Jesus, what I'm saying. Then a lot of the times, Fernandez has got that break where she's, you know, just put the gears down, just got ahead of the peloton just for a little bit, but just doesn't stay away, and the peloton swallows her back up. And the peloton in this scenario is Rybakina.
Yeah. Two good serves from Rybakina. Down love 40. Fernandez hit an amazing return somehow in that first point, but Rybakina with a strong backhand. But she has to save one more breakpoint to bring it to deuce.
T, poor backhand by Fernandez, and we're at deuce.
When is Iga's match? I think tomorrow. She's not playing today. The first serve has come back. Another ace.
Yeah, Iga's tomorrow because she played a second round match last night, didn't she?
Yeah.
So she's into the third round.
Wow. Where did she find this level?
Now she's rocked up.
5 points in a row.
But yeah, 3-2 up in the lead. She's looking okay at the moment. Elena.
Yeah, this match is just full of surprises.
This match still feels it could be a bit on a coin toss at the moment, but the Kazakh on her side of the court is at least keeping herself in it.
Yeah.
At this stage, that's the main thing that you can do. Is just don't give up any breaks. You've been able to break Fernandez on a number of occasions. You're probably going to get another look at it before this set comes to an end.
Yeah. Not a lot of rhythm in this match. 1 out of 3 Rybakina serves was either an ace or a double fault.
Oh.
What is happening in the other courts? Hurkacz serving for the match at 5-1 against Nishioka.
He's obviously rocketed through that service, through that game.
Schneider broke back and is up 6-5 against Kruger on serve.
They are there, yep. Sabalenka 2-1 up against Cochito.
Apparently, Hurkacz just hit 4 aces and Nishioka just stood still, according to Brazy.
Good forehand there by Fernandez, 15 love.
Yeah, she just hit the line and then finished it off with a safe forehand.
Great serve out wide there by Fernandez, 30 love.
Yeah, they're serving differently this set. Just the one
More
double.
consistently and bigger.
Yeah, one double fault between the two of them.
So we went for 2 sets where they could barely hold serve, and we've now got a set where they're holding serve for fun.
Ah, I should have just kept my mouth.
But I think I've just commentators curse as they call it.
Yeah. I want to say regression to the mean. I want to take the burden off my shoulders. Another nice serve. Rybakina went for a kind of a block return this time. Couldn't hit it.
Tell you what, the umpire looks a lot like Milos Raonic.
Yeah.
No wonder Fernandez is getting the rub of the green on the calls. Not bad there, not bad there. Good forehand there by Rybakina. Oh, just in, but ball into the net there by Fernandez, and it's deuce. And we're at deuce.
Yeah, Rybakina made that return that time, the block return. She's trying things. That was a tricky serve. It came from the outside. A nice spin to it.
Into the net there. I think Rybakina's got an opening there. This forehand by Rybakina. Just drops a bit short. Oh my days. What is this? Pitch and putt? More like a putting golf shot than it did actually a strike of a ball.
Yeah, she forgot to change her grip from that block return.
So they're saying, well, this is a pretty ugly match. No, but not a clue who's going to win at this point. Me either, really. Could go either way.
No idea what's happening.
At the moment, now 3-all.
Yeah, and another wild miss with a forehand drive return. It's one of those matches. 16 double faults, Rybakina, 12 Fernandez.
Match, win probability, 40% to Fernandez, 60% to Rybakina at the moment.
Oh my God.
Jeez, that was wildly wide.
That forehand missed the doubles court. Where do you go from here, even if you win the match?
Nice on the doubles, exactly. And that was long, and that is love 30.
Another relatively very easy forehand missed from Rybakina. Ooh.
Double fault, double trouble into love 40.
Yeah, she needs another 5 good serves. Second game in a row. Love 40.
Right. Okay. So as you say, this happened in the last service game.
Yeah.
And Fernandez has got a second serve to look out here. Is she going to get the break? Is she going to get the break? Good backhand by Rybakina, backhand by Fernandez, drop shot by. Oh, and it didn't even go over. And we got a break, and it has gone to the Canadian. Fernandez is 4-3 up. She has got the first break in the third set, and it's now just 2 games away from potentially claiming a huge scalp, beating the world number 4, Elena Rybakina. But as we've seen many times during this match, many times, as soon as Fernandez gets a break, generally Rybakina breaks straight back.
Yeah.
So it's now all important on the level that Fernandez can bring in this set.
Yeah, we can't be sure of anything. This match is like that video. Never let them know your next move. We don't know what's happening.
We could be on the precipice of Fernandez winning quite comfortably. We could also be on the precipice of Rybakina winning the next 3 games in a row and walking away with the match. And we're all sitting here going, well, why did we doubt her in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah, Dave has a good comment saying, good thing about tennis is one day's play doesn't predict tomorrow's level of play.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but these Masters tournaments where you have to play almost every day, you don't get a lot of time in between. And then the next opponent is Schneider or Kruger. Still, yeah.
You're lucky if you can get it so that you're a top 8 seed, play your first match on, like, say, the second day, and then get a day off between the round 2 and round 3 match. But then as soon as you hit round 3, it is game day after game day after game day.
Back to back, yeah.
Back to back. This is the tour. This is the grueling part of the tour. If you want to win these big tournaments, you've got to be able to win day in, day out, quite literally.
Yeah. And like it's unbelievable now how in 2000s men had these 5 best of 5 finals in Rome, and the next day Hamburg would start another Masters. That was cruel.
That was ridiculously cruel, and yet we still had players that somehow managed to get to back-to-back finals on those ones there in Roger and Rafa.
Yeah, Fernandez opens with a double vault. They just want us to watch this match for as long as we can.
They do. They want to give the fans their money's worth, even though the fans have got another.
They're doing that.
Even though the fans got another 4 matches due on this court throughout today.
I don't know if they're doing that with this level of tennis, but Fernandez is doing her part at least.
That's better from Fernandez. That's better.
Forehand winner.
Yeah, it's a real shame that this format of Masters event is going to be pretty much relegated to only 2 tournaments next year, and only 3 tournaments on the women's side as well.
Which one?
Because on the men's side, the 64-player draw Masters is only going to happen at Monte Carlo and Paris next year, and then on the women's, it's going to be Doha, Dubai, and then Beijing. Usually, that's usually only a week's length. There's usually another 1,000 somewhere in the calendar as well, which usually pops up randomly. Guadalajara tends to be a week as well. So they may have 4. So the women may have 4 tournaments like this, and the men will only have 2. All the rest of them, all the other joint events, will be the big, all singing, all dancing, 12-day spectacles.
Rybakina forehand, by the way, just almost hit the back of the court. But then she plays a good point.
Good point there. 30 all. Fernandez would dearly love to be able to hold serve here and just have a look on that Rybakina serve to try and get the match win.
Yeah, Nolan, I agree with you. He made a reference to our now viral shooter, Olympic shooter.
Oh, yeah. that was brilliant.
That came out of nowhere for us.
You did really well getting the silver medal as well. I remember watching the the mixed doubles match, the mixed doubles contest they had with Serbia that he was in.
Ooh, she consolidates the break.
She does. Has she finally broken free of the peloton that is Rybakina, or
we had this scoreline in the second set as well?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep a distance from making any conclusions right now.
Right, is she going to do it? It'd be brilliant if she ends up doing it from here. But with how poorly Rybakina has been playing, you'd fancy her chances to get the break here and just see off the match on her opponent's serve.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, with 4 hands into the net like that, I mean, you're asking for it at this stage.
This is a hard watch if you're a Rybakina fan. The feet look just glued to the court.
Cross court, down the line, and well long, and that's love 30, 2 points away.
Well long, yeah. $50 unforced errors from Rybakina. 27 from Fernandez.
Into the net. Second serve.
There he is.
Oh, geez, there's the first serve.
That's like Rybakina winning Wimbledon. The calmness, the lack of equipment. 15-30. Ooh.
Just keeps herself in this service game, Rybakina there. 30-all.
Yeah, like the first time she went down, love 40. She found good serves back to back. Let's see if she will continue that.
I mean, Camilla, you're asking the question, what's up with Rybakina? I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, some people say that she does look a bit unwell, but I think a lot of this is down to the fact that she's not played in over a month after coming back from injury, and it's quite apparent that a lot of her shots just aren't there at the moment in the match conditions. Not really getting the first serves in enough. Way too many double faults. Forehand is not finding the court enough. Neither is a backhand at points. And her ability to deal with mid-court forehands is quite dreadful, to be honest. So a lot to work on the practice court. You know, I'm sure if you're a Rybakina fan, you just hope that it is just an illness, and that so that she'll be raring to go when it comes to the US Open. But okay, she's held there, and we know she's been very good at being able to beat Fernandez on the service on Fernandez's service games. But it's going to be a tall order you would probably expect from here.
Yeah, Camilla's question of what's with Rybakina, I have been asking that question the whole year. I don't know and she's not really insightful. She doesn't like.
I mean, it's interesting. You're just watching her here sit down here. She's just got the towel on her knee. She's not even drinking any water. Just looking rather a bit prolonged into the distance.
Yeah, and she didn't share a lot when she was asked about her, withdrawals from tournaments at press conferences. So we don't know what's happening, if it's something physical or psychological, if she's lacking any motivation, or if it's just a bad day at the office. That's if it's like anomaly.
I mean, Fernandez is a really tricky player to come up against when you're not feeling great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she did hit some crazy returns to force Rybakina that extra shot, but those were long misses, the first forehand on a lot of occasions. And it's not like they haven't ever played. Like we said at the beginning, they played in Doha, 4-2 for Rybakina that time. But now Fernandez is serving for the match.
Great serve by Fernandez. Goes cross court. And Rybakina is unable to get anything significant on that fourth ball. So 15-love to Fernandez. Just to start, the Canadian would want. It's a big question, actually, given the fact that Rybakina didn't serve it out in the second set. And that was the key thing, remember. 40-15 up Rybakina was 2 match points. Just needs to put them away. 2 double faults. And ever since that point in the match, the momentum's been with the Canadian. And again, and finding another first serve. Backhand cross court, perfectly put away. This is how you play a serve it out game, is what Fernandez is showing at the moment. First 2 points, get your first serve in, get control of the point, and see it off.
Yeah, 2 great serves followed with 2 good shots. Now she's 2 points away from the match.
Goes down the tee, backhand by Rybakina, backhand by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina. Down the beautiful down the line. It does, I mean, you just can't. You can. It's just beautiful. That's how the only way I could describe it there. Granted, it did look a bit like Rybakina just basically gave up on that point once it got back onto the forehand of Fernandez. But here we are, 3 match points to Fernandez. We did say 2 match points to Rybakina. No more than say 40 minutes ago. Cross court, backhand by Rybakina, slice by Fernandez. Rybakina unable to get to it, and there we go. The Canadian with a huge win of the US hard court swing, taking out Elena Rybakina, somebody who doesn't look great at the moment in terms of illness. Game wasn't really there, but you had to be in it to win it, and you had to deliver to get the game over. Well, loses the first set 3-6. Wins the second 7-6 after saving 2 match points on her opponent's serve, and then winning the match tiebreaker 7-3, and then ends up taking the last set 6-4. Fantastic from Fernandez. Fantastic Fernandez. If that's even a way in which you could even rhyme about it. Any thought? How was your thoughts on that match there?
Yeah, great from Fernandez just to stay in the match. Not great level throughout, as we all know, the ones who have been there since the start. Yeah, they struggled to keep serve in that first set. Second serve, started serving better. But then, it was a gift at the end of the second set from Rybakina to just to waste those 2 match points. But Fernandez snuck in there, played a great tiebreak, I think. Rybakina just that 1 double fault, but Fernandez didn't, held her own. And great final set from Fernandez. Served well, apart from maybe 2 double faults. Didn't have a lot of threats in her own service game, but clearly diminished Rybakina. I don't know what's going on. We'll see if this is good for her for the US Open or not. But that was her first hardcourt match since Miami and lost that one. What do you think?
I mean, do you think necessarily? I mean, I get what you mean in terms of I think the hope you're a Rybakina fan that this is just that one-off, first match back on a hard court, still trying to find your form. That's what you'll be hoping if you're a Rybakina fan at the moment, and that this isn't another illness or injury that's plaguing her as it has done all throughout. Certainly the last couple of years with Rybakina in terms of illnesses and injuries. Do you necessarily think then that maybe she needs more matches? Do you think more matches could help Rybakina? Do you think she'll need to look at potentially Monterrey or Cleveland to get a late wild card?
If physicality is not an issue, maybe, but I don't remember her doing that so often, and like the main draw of U.S. Open starts in 10 days almost. So I think, yeah, she'd rather go to New York as soon as possible and practice there. I think she played a lot of matches this season, despite all those tournaments skipped. So I think she would just go there. I would be surprised if she plays a small tournament just to add some more matches. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, she did play in Adelaide when at the beginning of the year. I would probably say, was that?
Yeah, because she had just won at Brisbane before that.
She did just win at Brisbane before that, decided to play Adelaide for some bizarre reason. So she's had form this year of playing the week before the Grand Slam.
Yeah, you're right.
Moment, if what we saw today was not illness related, then it clearly is an issue with the fact that she hasn't got enough matches in at the moment on the surface. So for me, I would say look at Cleveland and get yourself a wild card into that event, or Monterey, which is a 500. I know Monterey's a 500 event next week, and Cleveland's a 250. So maybe look at Monterey, get yourself into that tournament, and try and get some more matches under your belt if that is the issue that you are facing with, because that no forehand, no serve, double faults galore. Those are things that only time on the match court's going to be able to iron out, and that may be what she'll have to look into to get that sorted, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, let's see if she'll do that. She definitely can get a wild card if she wants to.
She can get a wild card wherever she wants to. She'll be a huge name onto that draw sheet. Right, we'll end it here. Thank you everybody in the chat who has been with us throughout this contest, or for those that have just watched and kept in the background. That's absolutely fine as well. We'll have loads of and say John will end the stream, which will be fantastic. We'll have loads more coverage of bits in Cincinnati throughout this week, and then going on to the US Open, the last Grand Slam of the year. It all feels too sudden to have that last Grand Slam already popping up, but that's the way the tennis calendar works. But of course, it doesn't end until November. It's always good. Right, see you later on, and goodbye.
See you. Bye bye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Have entrepreneur. Shisha?